Nithyananda, welcome back. And now we are going to be going to the next asana, which is Khadgasana. In Khadgasana, start from a seated position on your knees and then place the crown of your head on the ground and slowly lift the legs upward, forming a steady vertical balance. Make sure to keep your arms grounded to support and stabilize the body and perform the Vaishnavi Mudra and the Kevala Kumbhaka. Engage your Mula Bandha, lock your perineum and gaze forward. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and visualize the shining blade of a sword fully forged and steady in your hand, embodying clarity, precision, and purposeful strength. Khadgasana. भुजाङ्गुलिभिर्भूमौ निहत्य करयोरङ्गुलिः सम्यक् बध्नीयात् ललाटाग्रे भूमिष्ठे कृत्वा कायं सम्यक् प्रसारयेत्. And now the next asana is Urdhva Padmasana. In Urdhva Padmasana, you're again going to come up onto the same inverted position, except now you're going to come into Padmasana. And here, engage the Parashu Mudra. Place the palms upon. Make sure you're interlacing your fingers and perform the Kevala Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and visualize a lotus rising upward from still water. Urdhva Padmasana. And now,
in the next position.
And now in the next position, now we are going to be coming to Mandalasanam. In Mandalasana, again come to an inverted position. But here you will not be lifting your legs upward. Just make sure that your feet are still flat on the ground. Your toes are pointing downwards but to the side. So walk your feet to the side. Yes. And now you're going to be continuing with the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward, and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize a radiant, luminous mandala spinning steadily within you. Mandalasanam nama padabhyam bhuming sprishan hastabhyam cha paribhraman mandalakaram dakshinam vamam cha. And now the next asana is again an inverted asana, Khadgasana Uttaranga. Here we'll be pointing the feet upward and the hands, the entire arms will be flat on the ground, stretched to the side. We'll continue with the Vaishnavi Mudra, the Kevala Kumbhaka, the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize a radiant sword with a blade capable of cutting downward down any external force. Bhujan Gulihi Purvataha Prasarya Padadvayam Paschannatam Vidhaya. And now you can relax. Come down slowly. And now the next asana is Vajrasana Padakara Mudrasana. So now come sitting onto your knees and make sure that your feet are flat on the ground, your knees are flat on the ground. Rest your palms on your thigh. Here we'll be performing, engaging the Shakti Chalan Mudra, awakening the base energy with steady intent, drawing prana upward through the spine. We'll engage the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contract the throat and draw the breath slowly through the nostrils. Engage the Mula Bandha, lock your perineum and gaze at your nose and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Visualize dynamic energy coursing through your legs and spine as this rapid motion loosens tension and deepens flexibility. Vajrasanusthito yogi karabhyam padayukdyatum chalayedaiti vegena loli bhavati nischitam. Very good. Now remain in the same position, except now you're going to be stretching your feet to the side of your body. Place your palms on your thigh. And now we'll engage the Vaishnavi Mudra. Hold your outer vision steady without blinking while awareness remains inwardly absorbed. Engage the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, inhale through the nose and hold the breath. Then, with your mental force, move the prana through all the different areas of your body. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Visualize Garuda's majestic wings enveloping your entire body, wrapping you in protective strength and expansive freedom. द्विजासनम् अपि यत्र कुकुटासनमुत्तमं फन गुप्तासनं चैव गरुडासनमेव च. Very good. Now let us move on to the next asana. In the next asana, remain seated in the same position. Now you are going to be bringing your knees wide apart, allowing the inner edges of your feet to rest on the ground with the soles facing outwards one another. And now we'll perform the prana mudra, extending the index and middle fingers together while the others fall softly inwards. Yes. Now continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze at your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Shivoham. Visualize the presence of sage Goraksha, the master who systematized Hatha Yoga as a practical path to self-realization. Gorakshasana. Now let us move on to the next asana. Here we'll remain in the same position. So from a seated position, you're going to be spreading your knees apart, wide apart, and bring your torso forward slowly, resting your elbows lightly on your knees. Yes, your hands in front of you. And now you're going to be try to rest your chin on your mat as well if you're able to. And here we'll be engaging the Kurma Mudra. So draw your senses inwards, becoming still and withdrawn like a tortoise within its shell. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Visualize the steady, patient presence of a turtle, observing the world with calm vision. देखना उदर नर धरे कर्मासन को रवि vidhi करे kuru kuru. Now in the next asana, we'll start with placing the hands and the feet firm on the mat. So press your palms firmly on the mat. Spread your fingers wide. And now lift your hips upward towards the sky to form an inverted V shape. We'll engage the Shambhavi Mudra. Keep your eyes open and steady and gaze outward while awareness rests deeply within. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and visualize yourself as a graceful, mystical bird, majestic in your descent. उर्वखागो मध्यखागस्तथा दोखाग इष्यते निराधारोऽपि चागः स्याक् चिदङ्गवरादिः. Now let us move on to the next asana, which is Alidhasana. In Alidhasana, we're going to come to a standing position first, and then we are going to be stepping one foot forward into a lunge with a 90-degree bend in front of the knee. Now tuck your toes of the back foot under and keep the back leg mostly straight and grounded. So now you're going to be extending the arms on the same side as the front leg forward in a fist, while drawing the opposite arm back in a fist close to the chest. Keep the torso upright. And here we'll perform the Dhanu Vama Mudra. Press the ring finger and the little finger by the thumb as well. So now we'll continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Internally visualize yourself as a focused. आलिदतु प्रकर्तव्यं सव्यं चैननुकुञ्चितं दक्षिणं तु पुरस्ताद्वा दूरपातिविशिष्यते. And with the legs wide, the body facing forward, then all the way, the body facing forward to the camera. Yes. Then place both of your hands coming all the way down to one side, opening the chest.
Looking sidewards, perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Keep the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha. Gaze at the side and visualize cool moonlight rising up to the spine, filling you with steady, calming energy. In Ardha Chandrasana Dve Uttaranga.
भोजेन जानुमेष्टद्यित्वा मूर्धानं भूमौ नयेत् निदेशककुम्भकं कृत्वा श्वशं सप्ततदा साधयेत्.
Now, standing with the legs wide, keep one arm underneath your thigh and the other one also backwards from the other side, reaching your hands at the back, opening your chest sideways. Continuing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat and drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean, keeping the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha. Visualize being firmly bound by a strong, unbreakable rope of discipline and focus. In Baddha Parshva Konasana.
कक्षयोपादसन्धिश्च धारणं कातितबुधाः उदरस्कं दयोश्चैव धारणं वरपादयोः.
And now place the legs together, come into an inverted bridge. On one hand, the other hand stretched out alongside the mat, parallel to the mat. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka in this position, slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean, keeping the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight, and visualize yourself as a radiant, untethered, mystical bird soaring freely with your chest lifted toward the sky. Urdhva Akasa Shtatakasana.
पूर्वकागो मध्यकागस्तदा दोकाग इष्यते निरधारोऽपि चागः स्याक् चिदङ्गवाराद्दिह.
And the next asana is with the legs wide apart, the front knee into a 90-degree angle. Then take one hand stretched out into a fist and the other hand drawn in with the fist towards your shoulder. Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, making the sound of the ocean. Keeping the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight, and internally chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a focused, honorable archer, steady and unwavering in Prajalidasana.
अग्रतो वामपादश्च दक्षिणं चानुकुञ्चितं प्रत्यालिदं प्रकटतव्यं हस्तद्वयशविष्टरम्.
And now bend both arms all the way down to your feet, keeping your chest open to the side. Performing in this asana, the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. Keep the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha. Visualize cool moonlight rising through your spine, filling you with steady, calming energy. In Ardha Chandrasana Dve Uttaranga.
भुजेन जानुमिष्टव्यद्वा मूर्धानं भूमौ नयेत् निदेशकाकुम्भकं कृत्वा सुषं सप्ततदा साधयेत्.
And now with one knee bent all the way to the side, bring your arm underneath the thigh and clasp your hands behind the back. Keep standing in this position while performing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath, the pelvic floor contracted, and visualize being firmly bound by a strong, unbreakable rope of discipline and focus. In Baddha Parshva Konasana.
कक्षयोपादसन्धिश्च धारणं कथितबुधाः उदरस्कन्धयोश्चैव धारणं वरपादयोः.
And now bring both hands down with the other leg, opening your body all the way to the side. Oh. making yourself into an inverted posture into the bridge pose, leaning on one hand, stretching the other hand all the way out, placing your hips towards the ceiling while performing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath. Gaze upward and visualize yourself as a radiant, untethered, mystical bird soaring freely with your chest lifted towards the sky. Urdhva Akasa Shtatakasana.
ऊर्वकागो मद्याकागस्तथाधो काग इष्यते निरधारोऽपि चागस्याक् चिदङ्गवरदादिह.
And now come lowering down your chest towards the mat, keeping your hips up and your knees and toes on the floor as well. Hands underneath the shoulders, performing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean with the breath. Then retain the breath within and release it slowly through the nostrils. Pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha. Gaze upward and visualize Lord Kalabhairava seated firmly in your heart, blazing like a dark, intense sun of fierce power and time's unstoppable force. In Bhairava Padasana.
अष्टपादसने स्थित्वा भैरवं हृदि धारयेत् कुकुटासनवत् प्रोक्तं जानुभ्याम् अधो विलोकनम्.
And now from this position, bring the hips down, stretch your legs out behind, and keep your upper body up, leaning on the hands. Shoulders away from the ears. Slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean in the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. The Mula Bandha engaged, the pelvic floor contracted, and gaze upward. Visualize yourself as a bird soaring upward, embodying freedom, confidence, and clarity. In Madhya Kaga Asana.
ऊर्वकागो मद्यखागस्तथाधो काग इष्यते निराधारोऽपि चागस्याक् चिदङ्गवरदादिह.
And now come to a standing position with one leg firmly on the ground, two hands on the ground, and then stretch your other leg all the way up towards the ceiling with the toes towards the ceiling as far as you can. See where your body is at the moment and what you can do. Performing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath, gazing at the tip of the nose, and visualize a radiant beam of light flowing from the cosmic source through your crown, grounding into the earth. Ekapadasana Trini.
मच्छेन्द्रं पाशमच्छेन्द्रं बन्धमच्छेन्द्रमेव च निरालम्बं च चन्द्राख्यं कन्तवं चैकपादकम्.
And now the same posture on the other side. Bring your other leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Ekapadasana Trini.
मच्छेन्द्रं पाशमच्छेन्द्रं बन्धमच्छेन्द्रमेव च निरालम्बं च चन्द्राख्यं कन्तवं चैकपादकम्.
And come on to a standing position. Hands all the way up and then arch your back. Bring your hands backwards over your head, keeping them in Anjali Mudra, the palms together. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat and drawing the breath in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Keeping the pelvic floor contracted. Retain the breath within and then release slowly through the nostrils, preserving the same sound. See a strong tree in your mind, roots gripping the earth, trunk steady, crown open to the sky. Vrikshasana Trini.
Vrikshasana.
And on the exhale, lower the upper body down with the feet wide apart. Bring your hands all the way and your shoulders through your legs, your head as well. as far as possible, bending through your legs, gaze straight, keep the pelvic floor contracted, continue making the sound of the ocean with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, and visualize yourself as a playful monkey, embodying qualities as flexibility, agility, and joyful energy. In Markatasana 2.
भैरवं कामदहनं पाणिपत्रं च कर्मुकं षष्टिकं गोमुखं वीरं मन्दुकं मर्कटासनम्.
And bring the upper body up again. Now stand with the feet wide, balancing on your toes, placing your hands in Namaskara Mudra in front of your heart, and come sitting low. Feel the stretch in your thighs. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, make the sound of the ocean with your breath, and visualize yourself as Lord Shiva, grounded and unwavering, energy rising to the throat center. In Kantadi Asana.
Kantadi asana.
And in the next asana, we do a balancing asana. We place both hands on the mat and the knees on one side. Now align your elbows with your knee and hip, and bring your weight onto your hands till your feet come off the ground. Then you can stretch out the feet all the way to the side. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, make the sound of the ocean with your breath, keep the pelvic floor contracted, and visualize yourself as Kaundinya Maharishi, embodying luminous intellect and serene devotion in Kaundinyasana.
वसिष्ठम् अथ कौन्दिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रम् अतोतानमयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
And we do the same asana on the other side as well. Again, align your elbows with your other hip and knee, and then bring your weight onto your arms till you can take your feet off the ground and stretch them out sidewards. Visualizing yourself as a frog at rest, Visualize yourself as Kaundinya Maharishi, embodying luminous intellect and serene devotion in Kaundinyasana Parshvantare.
वसिष्ठम् अथ कौन्दिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रम् अतोतानमायुरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
And now bring the body into a plank position. Cross one arm around your back so that you hold your plank with one hand, balancing with a strong core. Continuing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath, and see yourself as a frog at rest, low, alert, and poised. In Manduki Pava Asana.
Manduki Pava Asana.
And the same asana on the other side as well. Switch the hands. In Manduki Pavasana.
Manduki Pava Asana.
And the next asana is Hamsasana Trini, where we bring the body onto, when you bring the fingers towards the body, bend the elbows, bring your stomach onto your elbows, and stretch out your legs backwards, up from the mat. Visualize yourself as a serene swan, poised with elegance and effortless balance in Hamsasana Trini.
Hamshasanam nama karatalo nidha yodare padau prishte samuttapya hamsavat vicharat buddha.
And come with both feet on the mat again. Place the feet wide. Come bending forward. Interlace the fingers behind your back and stretch your hands all the way over your head, away from the body into the air. Performing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean in Ujjaya Kumbhaka. Keep the Mula Bandha engaged and also the Jalandhara Bandha, the chin to the chest. Visualize yourself extending deeply in a bow toward Paramashiva, embodied as your wise and compassionate Guru. Prasaritasana.
पृष्ठतोपु अपधस्तं सम्प्रसाय करादयं प्रसरितासनात् एतत् कथितं योगसिद्धिदम्.
And come bending upwards. The knees all the way bent on both sides into a 90-degree angle, your toes pointing sideways. The hands are on the knees. Continue with the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath while holding the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight, and embody Goddess Kali. Kali's bold energy, standing centered and unshaken in Utkata Konasana Dve.
सप्तचक्रशालनाय विशेषकान् जानेन्द्राय अर्ध्याय कोनभेदान् समाभ्यसेत्.
Now in this position, we're going to turn all the way to the right with our upper body. Continue the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean. As your body turns, imagine Goddess Kali rising within, release tension and old emotional weight in Parivriti Utkata Konasana.
सप्तचक्रशालनाय वृक्षासनविशेषकान् जानन्नेन्द्रिय अर्ध्याय कोनभेदान् समाभ्यसेत्.
And now same on the other side. Bring your shoulder to the front and look at the side. Visualize your body turns. Imagine Goddess Kali rising within, releasing tension and old emotional weight in Parivriti Utkata Konasana.
सप्तचक्रशालनाय वृक्षासनविशेषकान् जानेन्द्रियाय अर्ध्याय कोनभेदान् समाभ्यसेत्.
And bring your hands both up. Keep sitting down with your knees wide apart into a 90-degree angle. The Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath, and visualize embodying Goddess Kali's fierce grace in Udgata Konasana.
सप्तचक्रशालनाय वृक्षासनविशेषकान् जानेन्द्रियाय अर्ध्याय कोनभेदान् समाभ्यसेत्.
And bring the feet onto the ground, hips width apart. The hands stretched out alongside the body. Perform the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. Keep the pelvic floor contracted. Gaze straight in front of you. Keep internally chanting Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself becoming dense and contained like a solid block that cannot be disturbed or scattered in Ganasana.
Ganasana.
And in the next asana, we plant one foot firmly on the ground, stretch the other foot back. Parallel to the ground, while stretching the hands out in front of you, also parallel to the ground. Continue the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean. Keep the pelvic floor contracted and the Mula Bandha. Visualize your body strong and straight in perfect balance, like a firm staff in Tula Dandasana.
Thula Dandasanam Nama Pado Bhumau Stapayitva Shariram Tula Dandavat Samam Dharayit Iti Uchyate.
And now Tundala Dasana on the other side.
Tula Dandasanam Nama Pado Bhumau Stapayitva Shariram Tula Dandavat Samam Dharayit Iti Uchyate.
And now the next posture is a handstand. where we keep the legs not all the way up, but parallel to the ground. Bring a strong core, bring your hips above your head and your posture into a 90-degree angle.
Niradhara Adha Kagasana Vama Dakshina Kagabhyam Sagacha Katitasmaraha Upavidya Iva Kaka Api Charanena Apasapanam.
Wonderful. And bring your feet down again. The next is a headstand, a full headstand, all the way up towards the sky. So we can use the wall in this one.
हस्तासनं नाम करतलौ भूमौ स्थापयित्वा पादौ पृष्ठे समुत्थाप्य हस्ताभ्यां धारयेत् बलात्.
And then we have two more asanas like this where we stretch out the hand to the side. I can try. You can swing up your legs towards the wall as a help.
हस्तवृक्षासनं हस्तवृक्षासनं नाम एकहस्तेन भूमिं स्पृशन् अपरं हस्तमूर्ध्वं कृत्वा वृक्षवत् विजृम्भेत्.
And in this asana, if you can hold all your weight and you have strong core, you can stretch out one arm at the side. Let's try.
हस्तवृक्षासनं नाम एकहस्तेन भूमिं स्पृशत् अपरं हस्तमूर्ध्वं कृत्वा वृक्षवत् विजृम्भेत्.
And for the next posture, done. Okay, excuses for the technical glitch and welcome back. We're going to do the next asana, stacking the knees upon each other, bringing the feet next to the hips, the arms all the way up. Place your hands onto the opposite shoulders. Continue the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze at the tip of the nose. Visualize yourself embodying the gentle awareness of a cow's face. Soft, wide eyes open to the world with calm patience. Gomukhasana Trini.
भैरवं कामदहनं पाणिपत्पात्रं च कर्मुकं षष्टिकं गोमुखं वीरं मण्डुकं मर्कटासनम्.
And now interlace your fingers behind your back, one arm over your head, one arm underneath, backwards. Keep your knees stacked upon each other. And visualize in this posture yourself as a gentle, intelligent cow, embodying calm patience, deep nurturing care, and grounded strength. In Gomukhasana Chatvari.
सिद्धं पद्मं तथा सिंहं भद्रं वज्रं च मुकुटं गुप्तं गोमुखम् एकं च वीरं स्वस्तिकमेव च.
And now for the next posture, with one hand behind your back, clasp your opposite elbow and bring your hand in front of your navel center while keeping your knees stacked up onto each other. The pelvic floor contracted in Mula Bandha. Internally keep chanting Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And visualize your Kundalini rising up your spine through your chest and the crown of your head. Bandha Parshva Avesha.
धारयित्वा पृष्ठे शायनकतिं निष्कुच्य धीर्दम् उत्तोलयेत्.
And in the next asana, start seated with one foot in front of the perineum. The other foot is flat on the ground with the knee up. And now place that foot over your bended knee on the ground. Now bring your upper body into a twist. See to bring your hand, if you can, underneath your knee. And then the other hand goes behind your back. Try to clasp your hands. Mula Bandha engaged, gaze straight, and visualize yourself with the eagle's sharp vision, seeing your path clearly ahead. Shena Hasana.
वामं पादं दक्षिणतले स्थापयित्वा धृतं न्यसेत्. दक्षिणकक्षया वामजानुं कषातिकृत तत्र वामभुजेन पृष्ठतो नभिदक्षिणकटिं स्पृशेत्. वामभिमुखं गत्रं कृदमानं परावर्तयेत्.
Now take your foot that is lying down on the ground into your hand and stretch your other hand all the way up, maintaining the sideward twist of the upper body. Pelvic floor contracted and see yourself soaring like an eagle, lifting effortlessly on powerful wings in Shenahasana Purvanga.
वामं पदं दक्षिणतले स्थापयित्वा धृतं न्यसेत्. दक्षिणकक्षया वामजानुं कषातिकृत यत्तत्र वामभुजेन पृष्ठतो नभिदा दक्षिणं कटिं स्पृशेत्. वामाभिमुखं गत्रं गृह्यमानं परिवर्तयेत्.
And now take your arm underneath your knee, trying to reach both hands behind the back. If you can reach all the way. See yourself as a bow drawn back with steady focused tension, embodying poised power and readiness in Goma Chandrasana.
धनुराकर्षककृष्टद् धनुरासनमिरितं वामोरो मूलरिप दक्षपादं जनुर्बहिर्वैशिष्टवामोदोष्णान् प्रागर्ह्य तिष्ठन् परिवर्तितां गोमत्सेन्द्रनतोत्थितमासनं न्यसेत्.
And come into easy pose with one leg onto the opposite thigh, the hands resting on the knees. Vaisnavi Mudra, hold outer vision steady without blinking while awareness remains inwardly absorbed. Keep the Mula Bandha engaged, the pelvic floor contracted, and gaze up to the third eye. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, in your inner space. Meditate on the feet of the Guru and feel his presence liberating you from bondage and suffering. Rejoice in this space of eternal bliss and union. In Ardhanasanam,
करुमासनम् आपि श्रेष्ठं दरुदासनम् उच्यते गजासनं समुद्दिष्टं ततो धृदासनम् उच्यते.
and now stack your knees onto each other again. Place the feet outside of the hips, the fingers interlaced in Parusha Mudra in front of the navel center. Visualize balance returning through the left side as if subtle imbalances are being corrected and brought back into harmony. Mula Bandha engaged, gaze at the tip of the nose, internally chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Ivama Chaturam Sapadasana.
Chaturam sapadasana.
And now place your palms of the back of your hands onto your hips, the palms open to the back, keeping the pelvic floor contracted, the gaze straight, and visualize grounded patience, rhythmic precision, unhurried power, and quiet reliability, resilient focus, and steady endurance honed through tireless repetition. Charpati Asana.
Charpati asana.
And place your hands open with the palms open towards the ceiling on your thighs. Keep the Mula Bandha engaged, gaze straight, and visualize yourself seated as a calm guardian, steady and unhurried, holding space rather than exerting control. In Govindasana.
Govinda asana.
Now take the big toes in Prana Mudra, the index and middle fingers around the toes, closing it with your thumb. Visualize your Kundalini awakening from the base of your spine in Lauli Asana.
Sarvanga chalana deva kundali shakti chalanam. चालनात् कुण्डली देव्याश्चेतना स भवेत् प्रभो गोमुखासनम् आरुह्य धृत्वा पादयुग्मं करौ चालयेत् उदरं पश्चाल्येयि सदानं भवेत्.
Keep the big toes in Prana Mudra and bend from the hips forward, placing your chin over the knee. The pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze downward, and visualize your Kundalini as a sacred flame being ignited by a spinning stick, creating glowing embers to awaken a powerful fire within. Jano Prerana.
जानो पीडनं कृत्वा मद्यं सव्यदक्षिणं प्रेरयेत्.
Now cross your arms, come first up, then cross your arms in front of the body. Take the opposite toes in Prana Mudra. Visualize your Kundalini awakening along the spine, gently flowing upwards as you sit with your legs over each other, twisting gracefully. Pada Samyukta Pada Asana.
कुञ्चयित्वा हस्ततले निवेश ग्रीवाम् अधिकं परिवर्तयेत्.
And now cross your arms backwards and take your opposite toes in Prana Mudra or as close as you reach. Keep your Mula Bandha engaged. Continue to internally chant the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
गणेशासना. गोमुखे संस्थितं कृत्वा पार्ष्णिव्यस्य गुग्मुखे तत्र शिवानिकां स्थाप्य गणेश आसनम् iritam.
And now on the other side, one arm behind your back, Take the opposite elbow into your hand and place your other hand in front of you on your navel. Pelvic floor contracted, gaze downwards. Visualize your Kundalini rising up your spine through your chest and the crown of your head in Bandha Parshva Aveshasana.
धारयित्वा पृष्ठे शायना कटिं निष्कुच्य धृतम् उत्तोलयेत्.
And now bring one knee up, the foot flat over the thigh. One arm all the way behind your back and the other hand next to your hip on your mat. Visualize yourself with a eagle's sharp vision, sealing your path clearly ahead. Shenahasana.
वामं पादं दक्षिणतले स्थापयित्वा धृतं न्यसेत्. दक्षिणाकक्षया वामजानुं कषति ग्रथयेत् तत्र.
And bend your upper body towards your knee, that is up, with your chest towards your knee, and then your hands over the knee on the ground, the other hand all the way up towards the ceiling. See yourself soaring like an eagle, lifting effortlessly in powerful wings in Shenahasana Purvanga Dve.
वामं पादं दक्षिणतले स्थापयित्वा धृतं न्यसेत्. दक्षिणाकक्षया वामजानुं कषति ग्रथयेत् तत्र. वामभुजेन पृष्ठतो नाभि दक्षिणकटिं स्पृशेत्. वामभिमुखं गत्रं कृदात्मानं परवर्तयेत्.
And now bring your arm on that same side underneath your knee, your other hand at the back, and then bring your arms together. Now over your knee, and then underneath. It is a challenging bend, but just see where you can get. And then bring your hands close together. Visualize yourself as a bow drawn back with steady tension, embodying poised power in Goma Chandrasana.
धनुराकर्षककृष्टा धनुरासनमिरितं. वामुरो मूलार्पितदक्षपादं जन्मो बहिर्वेष्टितवामदोष्टान्. प्रघ्राह्य तिष्ठन् परिवर्तितं. गोमत्सेन्द्रनतोदितम् आसनं न्यसेत्.
And for the next asana, we come onto the knees. And onto the knees, we bring the hands in Namaskara Mudra together, bending all the way forward, placing the forehead onto the ground within the in between the knees, so the knees wide. Mula Bandha engaged, gaze at the tip of the nose, visualize yourself as a tranquil, steadfast tortoise, drawing inward for shelter and renewal in Ardha Kumasana.
अर्धकूर्मासनं नाम पादौ पृष्ठसमर्पितौ. हस्तौ च पार्श्वयोः स्थाप्य शिरः प्रणमित भुवि.
And now we come up, keep your knees wide and place your hands on your hips. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka in this position, slightly contracting the throat and drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Then retain the breath within, and after some time, release slowly through the nostrils, preserving the same soft sound. In this position, we have two bandhas engaged, the Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor contracted, and the Uddiyana Bandha. Draw the abdomen inward and toward the spine. Gaze straight, feel the sun's warmth, steady glow centering in your body core, nourishing you with vital life force in Sauri Asana.
Sauri asana.
Now for the next asana, bring one foot flat on the mat, the knee up. Place the other foot on the opposite thigh. And then cross the arms in front of the body, in front of the chest. Continue the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath, the pelvic floor contracted, and visualize trapped pressure and restlessness being squeezed out cleanly from the lower body, like air released from a sealed chamber. In Dakshina Gripavana Muktasana.
Dakshina Angri Pavana Muktasana.
And stretch out one leg in front of the body. Place the other foot next to the hip, outside of the hip, and come bending forward on the exhale from the hips, reaching the both hands towards the extended foot and bringing the head towards the knee. Visualize your extended leg grounding your energy with the heel pressing gently into the floor to anchor the prana. Mula Bandha engaged in the pelvic floor contracted in Ardha Paschimottanasana.
Padam Vistirnam Kuryat Padasya Esha Gude Sannipataha Karita Uksipya Padangushtam Sapinordhvam Stapayet.
And bringing 2 feet underneath the body again, one on the side next to the hip and one literally under the sitting bones, bringing the hands together in front of the navel center. Continue making the sound of the ocean with the breath, keeping the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight. Visualize old patterns loosening their grip as you turn gently to the left, like untwisting a rope without force. Vama Vakrasana.
Vamavakrasana.
And now on the other side, bringing the one knee up and the foot on the opposite thigh. The arms crossed in front of the chest. Continue the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. Visualize accumulated tension and stagnant energy releasing gently from the side, like pressure slowly easing out without resistance. Gaze straight in front of you in Vamangripavana Muktasana.
Vamangri Pavana Muktasana.
And extend one leg in front of you. Bring the other foot outside of the hip and then bend from the hips. Reach forward and take both your hands onto your foot, bringing your head towards the knee. Continuing making the sound of the ocean with your breath in the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, and visualize yourself as the guardian of the West, embodying the fast flowing power of water and cosmic oceans like Lord Varuna. Ardha Paschimottanasana.
Padam Vishtirnam Kuryat Padasya Esha Gude Sannipataha Karita Ukshipya Padangushtam Chapinordhvam Stapayet.
And bring one foot under your perineum, the other foot is at your side, outside of the hip, bringing your hands together in front of the navel center. Continue making the sound of the ocean in the Ujjayi Kumbhaka and visualize the body realigning through a clean turn to the right as if internal systems are being reset into proper order. Dakshina Vakrasana.
Dakshina Vakrasana.
And now for the next asana, we extend one leg all the way backwards and bringing the other leg in front in folded position. Keep the hands, if you can, on the hip, stretching the back a little bit, arching. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath, keeping the pelvic floor contracted, and visualize yourself as a serene dove embodying grace and calm strength. In Kapotahasana Dve.
Purake Katishta Hasta Prishtam Udvajya कपोताकरं शिरोध्वं धारयेत् श्रितः.
And now in this asana, bend your back knee, bring your foot all the way up and hold it. If you can, keep your arms over your head and then hold your toes. Otherwise, see where your body is and how you can hold best your foot, supporting the body, holding a strong core, containing the sound of the ocean with the breath. Visualize yourself as a dove poised in graceful readiness, radiating an harmonious blend of strength and ease. In Kapotahasana Dve Purvanga.
प्रसारितपादङ्गुष्ठं शिरपृष्ठविनामयेत् कायचालनपूर्वं व्यायामं समाचरेत्.
Now, with one hand, you hold on to the foot, holding it up. The other hand goes behind the back. And if you can reach, take the toe of your foot that lays on the ground in Prana Mudra. Arm backwards, around the back. Other way around. Yeah, yes, perfect. And continue the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. Visualize Lord Bhairava's fierce energy rising within you, embodying unstoppable transformative energy and fearless power. In Prishta Bada Bhairavasana.
वामपादं दक्षिणोरुं समादाय पृष्ठतः दक्षहस्तेन गृह्णीयात् वामं पादं शिरोट्टिके.
And then stretch out both legs into a split, one backwards and one in front of you. Keep either your hands on the floor if you need that support, or bring your hands onto your hip, arching your back a little with your head backwards. Continue the Ujjaya Kumbhaka. Visualize yourself as a tranquil dove soaring with open grace. Kapotahasana Dve Uttaranga.
कुञ्चितजानुं पुरस्तात् प्रसार्य निदेशक कुम्भकयुक्तं कुर्यात् पश्चात् पार्श्वविन्यस्तं सप्तवारं शून्यकाकुम्भके तिष्ठेत्.
Wonderful. And wherever we are in the split, maintain it and bring your both hands towards your front foot, bending forward with your upper body while stretching out both legs wherever you are. Continue the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean, and visualize yourself as a peaceful dove, grounded in quiet contemplation and deep focus. In Kapotahasana Dve Uttaranga Dve.
कुञ्चितजानुं पुरस्तत् प्रसार्य निदेशका कुम्भकयुक्तं कुर्यात् पश्चात् पार्श्वविन्यस्तं सप्तवारं शून्यकाकुम्भके तिष्ठेत्.
And now we do the same asanas on the other side. Start with the bended leg in front of the body, the other leg stretched out all the way backwards, bringing the hands either for support on the ground or at both of your hips, arching your head backwards, performing the Ujjaya Kumbhaka, the sound of the ocean with the breath. Visualize yourself as a serene dove, embodying grace and calm strength. In Kapotahasana Dve.
लङ्घधृदा पादम् एकं प्रसार्य अन्यम् अकुञ्च्य गुह्यनिस पूरके कतिस्थहस्तपृष्ठम् उद्वज्य कपोताकारं शिरोध्वं धारयेत् श्रिताः.
And now bend your leg, you bend your knee, bring your foot with the toes pointing upwards. Your both hands stretching backwards to grasp your foot. Perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath. Visualize yourself as a dove poised in graceful readiness, radiating an harmonious blend of strength and ease. Gaze upward in Kapotahasana Dve Purvanga.
प्रसारितपादङ्गुष्ठं शिरपृष्ठे विनमयेत् कायचालनपूर्वं व्यायामं समाचरेत्.
And now, while holding on to with one hand to the foot, stretch the other hand backwards behind the back, and then take the opposite toe, if you can reach, into Prana Mudra. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. Visualize Lord Bhairava's fierce energy rising within you, embodying unstoppable transformative energy with fearless power. In Prishta Bada Bhairavasana.
वामपादं दक्षिणोरुं समादाय पृष्ठतः दक्षहस्तेन गृह्णायात् वामं पादं शिरोन्तिके.
And now stretch both your legs out to one side, one to the front and one to the back, bringing your legs into a split position. If you need support, you can keep your hands on the ground. Otherwise, you can place them onto your hips, bringing your head back. Continuing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath while keeping the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha. Gaze upwards and visualize yourself as a tranquil dove soaring with open grace, embodying expansive freedom and radiant openness. Kapotahasana Uttaranga.
कुञ्चितजानुं पुरस्तात् प्रसार्य निदेशका कुम्भकयुक्तं कुर्यात् पश्चात् पार्श्वविन्यस्तं सप्तवारं शून्यका कुम्भके तिष्ठेत्.
And now reach both your hands towards your front foot, bringing your head towards your knee. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, the sound of the ocean. Visualize yourself as a peaceful dove grounded in quiet contemplation and deep focus. In Kapotahasana Dve Uttaranga Dve.
कुञ्चितजानुं पुरस्तात् प्रसार्य निदेशकुम्भकयुक्तं कुर्यात् पश्चात् पार्श्वविन्यस्तं सप्तवारं शून्यका कुम्भके तिष्ठेत्.
And come sitting on your sitting bones. Extend your legs in front of the body. Bring the hands in Purusha Mudra, the fingers interlaced in front of the navel. We perform the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contracting the throat, drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Then retain the breath within, and after some time, release slowly through the nostrils again, preserving the same sound of the ocean. Mula Bandha engaged, gaze raised, and continue internally chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize each exhale emptying you completely, as if stale air, tension, and excess effort are leaving the body without resistance. Nishvashasana.
Nishvasyasana.
And in this posture, on the exhale, come bending forward from the hips, taking the toes in Prana Mudra, the index and middle fingers around your toes, closing it with your tongue. Continue the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with the breath. And visualize yourself nestled in the nurturing, protective embrace of the womb, gazing at the tip of the nose in Garbhasana Dve.
पादौ दण्डवत् भूमा प्रसार्य पादाग्रं हस्ताभ्यां गृहीत्वा ललातं जानुशून्यस्य Garbhasanam idam garbana madhye yakam.
And now coming up, placing your feet wide apart sideways, reaching the feet with your hands, bringing your chin towards the floor. And continuing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean, visualize yourself as a perfect triangle, stable, balanced, and expansive. Feel the energy flowing smooth along each edge, connecting strength, openness, and calm focus.
Trikonasana Purvanga. पादङ्गुष्ठद्वयं गृहीत्वा पादविस्तर्य वेगिनां वक्षश्चिबुकं च भूमा निहत्य व्यायामम् आचरेत्.
And in the next asana, remain this same position with your hands at your legs, your feet stretched out all the way to the sides. Continue with the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean, tucking the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha, keeping the Mula Bandha engaged, and visualize yourself as a luminous triangle lifting gently from its base, strong and poised. Trikonahasana Trini.
शिरस्कन्धपादघ्राणि भूमौ निधाय त्रिकोणवत् धैर्येण तिष्ठेत् सर्भिः शून्यकाकुम्भकै कालं धृत्वा देहं स्थिरं कुर्यात्.
And for the next asana, come onto your knees. Bring your arms in between your knees all the way backwards, hands together. Place your forehead on the ground and don't let your hips all the way come down to your feet. Keep them up towards the ceiling. Visualize yourself as a radiant triangle drawn out with elegant tension, full of potential and graceful strength. Keeping the chin to the chest and the pelvic floor contracted in the Mula Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze upward in Trikonahasana Uttaranga.
पाणिद्वयं गुल्पयुग्मे निवेश पादङ्गुष्ठौ हृदं गृहीत्वा स्कन्धौ भूमौ निहत्य पादौ योमी समुत्क्षिप्य रेचकं कुर्यात्.
And now we are at the last asana of the sequence, where we come laying down on the back, stretching out the legs and the hands alongside the body, the palms pointing upwards. Continue internally chanting Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Allow the breath to pass naturally and visualize your body lying in the cremation ground, embraced by sacred flames. See your bones transforming into diamond dust, rising onto the wind and scattering into starlight. Contemplate profound dissolution, radiant release, and the eternal cycle of transformation flowing within you. In Shmashanavasana.
श्मशनवासनम् श्मशनवासनम् आसद्य देहं ध्यायेत् प्रज्वलितम्.
And slowly start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Bring one by one your knees to the chest. Rock from side to side, massaging the body. And rock yourself up into a seated position again. Give yourself a big applause for again completing 100 asanas. Thank you so much for joining us practicing the Nithyananda yoga together. Tomorrow we have another sequence of 100 asanas for you. The last one to complete the 1008. So make sure you don't miss and join us together tomorrow for Nithyananda yoga session. Later today, we have a very special live satsang, so make sure you attend. Swamiji is giving live darshan, and we will be having a special celebration. So join in for the live satsang later today. And if you want to do more extensive yoga or be with Swamiji in his space and have a transformative deep journey, for 30 days, then you are very much welcome for the Paramashiva Sena program. It is happening in different places around the world, and you can join for the full 30 days and have all the amazing gifts of this program for you. You do, of course, Nithyananda yoga every day, but we have also other forms of yoga throughout the program. So if you want to know more about this, then please put your comments and questions underneath the live stream in the comments so that we can get in touch with you and give you more information one-on-one. Thank you so much for joining today. Let's end the class with a Purna mantra. Place your hands in front of the heart in Namaskara Mudra. Keep your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And take a deep breath. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Parukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Let's take a moment to express our gratitude, bowing down to Swamiji. And wishing you a wonderful rest of your day, and hope to see you in the satsang and tomorrow in next Nithyananda yoga class. Nithyanandam.